Hi, it's Hoshi-chan here with Anime on Location at Ohayocon 2016, and I'm here with Greg. How you doing, Greg?
Not too bad. How are you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. So, how did you get started in the world of entertainment?
In the world of entertainment? Well, I actually got started, as a lot of people do, doing background work. I had friends who actually had they decided that they wanted to start doing shows for children's television, and I got involved in that. I also had the opportunity where I lived to be a part of various CBS and ABC shows that were filming in the area as a background character, minor roles such as that. And actually through that is how I started to get into voice work, and things just kind of went hilariously, horribly wrong from there for me. And no, seriously, I started doing while I was on set for those things. I would do ADR for some of the background stuff that they record for the TV shows, and eventually somebody suggested that I try this in commercial and industrial markets, which I did, and just kind of branched out from there. And eventually it's now just starting to lead me into animation.
Sweet. So it says in your bio that you love computers. So what made you choose the direction to go into the career that you're going in?
Well, I have to ask, the direction as far as the actor or the IT?
The IT.
Okay. Well, I say this a lot, but I truly mean it. There are two things that I'm very, very good at as far as what I do. And I'm very lucky. I'm luckier than I should be. I actually get paid to do them. One of them is, IT. And I had been, I come from a very technical family. My father was a mechanical engineer. My grandfather was a doctor. I had, so science has always been part of the household. And for me, when I was very young, I was first introduced to a computer. Back in the old days where a couple of hamsters were on a wheel trying to power the damn thing, and the computers were like the size of a city block, and well, not that bad, but back in the mid 70s, and I thought it was really cool. You actually, because to me, as 3 and 4 year old, TV, you tell it to do something and it shows up on the screen. And as I learned, things just progressed from there. When I was in my early teens, I realized I had a very strong knack both for diagnosing things technically, but also for figuring out new and unique ways to utilize computer technology. Not always the way they were supposed to be used, but but still in very new and unique ways. And things, and it was just one of those things I always kept at, and eventually realized I could actually, make a career out of, get an education with, and learn even more about. So I just kind of let things happen and just follow the journey, see where it would lead me.
Interesting. So it also says that you spent a lot of time in theater and also in improv groups. So what lessons did you learn from mixing that, and how does it help you with voice acting?
Yes, I've actually had the opportunity to be to train at and be part of a few theatrical groups. I've also trained with several improv theaters. And the first thing you learn is, well, at least when I first started out, is you're never as good. Even if you think you're horrible, you're probably a little bit worse. No, actually, it's, and really what it teaches you is that the hardest part is getting on stage. It's getting in front of that microphone, getting on stage, getting in front of that camera, and being willing to risk. And when you risk, something wonderful, something magical can happen. And really what you have to do is just kind of learn to get out of your own way and let it happen. But from improv in particular, I learned a lot of the skills I utilize for voiceover. In particular, being able to identify, the specifics of a copy of a script in order to identify and define a character, to create that wonderful world of make-believe around me. Because when you're in a booth, you don't normally get props. You don't normally have somebody else in the booth to work off of. So you have to learn to play pretend. And acting and improv in particular really helped me to achieve that.
And that's also a good tip for anybody who wants to get into that. So you have been involved in the series, the Tales of series. So what was it like being a part of an RPG that's been running so long?
Short. It's seriously, it's like, go in, say your line. Okay, you're done. Go. But if you're going to be Soldier B, be the best B that you can be. Yeah, that works. Yeah, the logic works out there. No, actually, it was great. I actually got to be in a scene where not only do I have a conversation with myself, but then I get the hell kicked out of me, all of me, in the middle of throughout the scene, and it was a lot of fun. It was actually challenging because you go from dialogue to some reacts, and for me, I've always learned to make it physical in the booth. So they, at times they were like, are you okay in there? That sounded like that one really hurt you, and it's like, no, I'm fine, it's good. And, I'm just trying to make it real for me. But no, it's great. As a matter of fact, people ask me like, well, did you like this role over another? And I'm like, anytime I have the opportunity to be in the booth, that's my favorite. It's I've been a fan of anime since 1978, and actually, 77, 78. And any time, any opportunity I have to be a part of it, it's absolutely awesome. But that said, I feel that same way about all voiceover. I get a natural high out of doing it.
That's awesome. So it says you're also part of the Evangelion world. What's your feeling on the movie coming out?
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I enjoy the franchise. I always have. I love the artwork. The symbolism, sometimes I'm not, it's fun to try to find it, but it's like, what's the actual meaning to the story? I have no idea. I swear to God, I think Hideki Anno is just there with a dartboard and some stuff on there. Yeah, we'll put that in today. But no, it's absolutely great. What I was part of were, primarily the launch scenes. I was a lot of the characters in the background, for the various launch scenes. And I really appreciated the fact that in addition to this wonderful storyline, he actually did research to find out what it was like if you were to do something like that. And in this case, it was what he kind of mirrored it off, or at least what I'm pretty sure he mirrored it off, was things such as satellite launches, or when we sent people to the moon or up into orbit, the Apollo, the various Apollo missions, the space shuttle, because it's a big game of chicken, and it's who wants to be the guy that says the $600 million rocket isn't going to go off today, or who wants to be the guy that decides, this particular safety feature isn't particularly important, and then watch the rocket blow up. So there was that kind of a drama and intensity to the scenes, and I really enjoyed the fact that he did the research enough to to actually bring that out, because both my background and actually my father's background, I was exposed to a lot of that when I was growing up, and I got to see things like the shuttle launches and all that, and I got to see the drama and the emotion that would go into it. So it was really nice to see that somebody had done the research to reflect that in part of their creation as well.
So you did some voice work and for
I've done a little bit more than some. Okay.
You've done some voice work for NBA. So how was that? And will your fans hear you in the game?
I don't. Oh God, if I have fans, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Find someone better. It's. I'm not. I don't deserve that. You'd be bored with me. Actually, what I got to do for the NBA, in addition to doing the commercials and doing game time announcements and stuff like that, they also have they're a company just like any other, and they have internal compliance modules and learning modules. And for the NBA, that's where a lot of my work, that's where a lot of the work I did for the NBA came from. So really, the only fans I would have for that, would be the rookie players who are coming in, and tell them like, all right, when you're when you're at a hotel and a woman approaches you, that doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means. Stuff like that. Things on like, financial management, because now these guys are making lots of money. So for those guys, I'm going to apologize, because I know nobody likes to hear that stuff. They probably got tired of listening to my voice. So yeah, I'm really sorry, but we're just looking out for you guys. We're just looking out for you. But yeah, I mean, it absolutely great. It was one of those things where it was like, oh my God, like a franchise like the NBA actually wants me to be a part of it. Hell yeah, where do I sign? So yeah, it was an awesome time.
That's pretty impressive. So, is there any upcoming projects that you can tell us about?
Upcoming projects, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be a big year. I've got a couple of really cool things coming out. My first video game that I've been involved in is coming out very soon, and unfortunately, we've got the NDA, so I can't talk about any of it.
It's classified information, people. So, is there any way that your fans could keep up to date with you online?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Facebook at G Hauser. Well, actually, I'm sorry, on Twitter at G Hauser. Facebook, just search my name. Look for the goofy, big, bald guy with a microphone. Not too many of us roaming around in the wild, so you'll find me there. And of course, I have my website, which is GregoryHauser.com.
So thank you so much for being a part of this show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And it was a pleasure to meet you.
Same here.
You heard it here on Anime on Location. Peace.